Welcome to the Customer Machine Podcast, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston and Yoav Ezer. Glenn is a psychologist and marketer whose companies have sold more than $30 million in consulting and has trained thousands of marketers across different niches and industries. Yoav is a programmer turned marketer whose companies have sold over $5 million in products and services. Together, they'll teach you how to systematically stand out, attract, and convert the best customers, even in brutally competitive markets. And now, here's Glenn and Yoav.
Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Mr. Yoav, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm looking forward to today's episode of The Customer Machine. I know you got something good planned for us.
It's not really, it's more kind of a loose episode. I don't have one specific topic I want to talk to you about, but
I heard you were loose.
When I was younger. I'm now married, so.
Go ahead.
Okay, so those are things that came up during the week, and the first thing that came up was using what we call a review loop. And just to let the audience know what the review loop is, a review loop is where you use your email follow-up sequence to ask customers or subscribers or readers. In my case, I work with authors. So to ask readers to write Amazon reviews or to ask customers to give you testimonials. And that's probably the easiest way you can get reviews, but I've rarely seen anyone do it.
Well, and let's just back up for a second. If anybody is maybe a newer marketer or something who doesn't understand the value of that, especially online today, proof is everything. It's one thing to have a good product and a good pitch for the product, but people are so skeptical that they really want to see a whole crowd lining up behind that product saying that they've tried it and it's terrific. And on Amazon, that correlates to reviews. And on your opt-in page, on your sales page, throughout your site, even in your customer follow-up sequences to ensure that they keep the products and improve customer satisfaction, having a system in place to automatically generate more reviews and testimonials, it's like building a moat around your business. It makes you have more proof than the other guy. It gets people to say things about your product, about your book that you wouldn't have thought. You figure out reasons why people are buying that you didn't know beforehand. You can leverage those reasons. It gives you different product ideas. It's a fabulous, fabulous things to do. But most people leave it up to chance and just take spontaneous testimonials here and there. The major platforms are so interested in what the crowd says about your product that their algorithms have evolved to highly emphasize the importance of reviews. So, for example, on Amazon, the book that has 50 reviews, 100 reviews is going to rise much more quickly to the top of the Amazon rankings than the book that has 5 or 6 reviews, or the book that has 20 reviews. And Yoav is really expert with the Amazon ranking. I'm just giving you an example. And in some ways, if you think about it, the whole phenomenon of social media itself is one big, hairy, giant review. Because it used to be, like when Google optimized the web for its search algorithm, Google said, well, citations, those are the indications of a website's importance. And so we're going to rank higher those sites that have the most citations or people linking back to them. And then someone got the bright idea that, not everybody has a website. We need to give the populace the ability to vote on their own. We need to democratize the reviews online. And that's how social media was really born. And now virtually every marketing platform on the planet relies very heavily on those democratic votes, the reviews of the populace. And what Yoav is going to present for you here today is a way to to systematize your review generating systems so that as your product grows, your reviews grows, and as your reviews grow, your product grows. Whereas your competitors might get 1/10 or even 1/100th as many reviews for the volume of sales that you make, Yoav has got a way to really exponentially multiply that. So, Yoav, I hope it's okay that I opened my big mouth and I sold what you're about to do.
Perfect.
A little more than perhaps you might too, but I got all excited about it and I thought people should know.
So, just one correction, like minor correction. I'm not sure that reviews actually affect your ranking on Amazon, but they definitely affect your conversion rate. So if you've got 3 reviews, you're selling twice more, your conversion rate is twice as high as having no reviews. And if you have 50 reviews, your conversion rate doubles again. And we're talking about mainly positive reviews. If all your reviews are bad, then you won't sell anything. But if you get many positive reviews and you cross the 50 review threshold, then you double your conversion rate again. And that's on Amazon. Those are numbers from Amazon. And I guess it's similar for other platforms. I imagine Yelp behaves much the same way. So if you've got a business on Yelp, getting more reviews will definitely increase your conversion rate. And when you increase your conversion rate, then the algorithm really favors you. And that's across the board, like Amazon, Yelp, wherever you go, if your product has a high conversion rate, because the system is partly your partner in generating income, at least on Amazon, whenever you sell a book as an author, Amazon gets a part of it, a part of the sale. So the Amazon heavily favors products with higher conversion rates. And that's a big reason you want to invest in getting reviews. And even if you have your own website, imagine having 50 testimonials or 100 testimonials as opposed to the average 3 all product marketers have on the website.
So if it would be more accurate to say that the number of reviews you have on Amazon impacts your conversion rate, and then the conversion rate impacts your ranking.
Exactly. Heavily impacts your ranking.
Okay. I thought the correction you were going to make was that you really weren't losing college.
Dude, don't tell. It's not nice. People will get the wrong opinion.
Well, for those of you that tune in till the end of this call, we will tell you exactly what happened with Yoav in college and the incident with the dog and everything like that. So go ahead.
Sure. So, now you talked about the technique and what I'm going to teach. It's really not a big technique. It's more than the logical thing to do. And that's, you just add an email to your follow-up sequence. And you want to add that email a bit down the road on your follow-up sequence, like it shouldn't be your first, second, or third message, and I'll explain in a bit why. You add a simple email that asks the subscriber, the customer, the book buyer, whoever you're working with, if they enjoyed your product, that they go and write a review, and you give them a link to the review page, to the place on the platform where they can enter a review. And if you have your own website, if you're selling your own products on your own website, you can send them to a blog post with the comments open, where they can add a testimonial as a comment. And that's it. Now, a few tips here. One is that you want to postpone the ask to like the 8th, 9th, 10th message. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to make sure the people who reach that point are really, truly fans of yours. And I'll explain. So when you get customers, it's natural that some of them won't like your product. And those who don't like your product or don't like your writing style might give you a scathing review. But if you wait until the 10th message, most of the people who don't like your product will have already gotten off your mailing list. So at that point, you're left with real fans, and you're much more likely to get a good or even enthusiastic review.
Smart. That's really smart. You know, you have another way I've seen that done, and I imagine Amazon probably likes your way better than they like this way. Another way I've seen it done is that in the follow-up sequence, a survey is inserted. What did you think of this book? And then it's a very brief survey, kind of has the same 5-star rating that Amazon has. And then for the people that give it 4 or 5 stars, they say, would you kindly leave a review on Amazon? And for the other people, they take them a little deeper into, well, what didn't you like and what could be improved? But they keep them on their website. And so they're kind of screening out the people that would like to vent. They're giving an opportunity to vent, but they're keeping them away from Amazon. And I imagine Amazon might not like that practice because it would be biasing, but that is another way I've seen it done.
Amazon actually doesn't mind if you do that. They only mind if you buy reviews or if you ask friends and family, someone that has a stake in your business, to write a review.
I see.
But I started off with that approach of screening, using a survey to screen for good reviews. But what happens is that you lose the second type of good reviews, which is the a-hole reviews. And
the what? The what review?
The a-hole reviews.
I thought you said a-hole.
Yeah. Those, you might be laughing, but those are very important for every book and every product, I think. There's a certain type of people, like I've said before, that are just, inherently bad, sarcastic, angry people. And those are the type of people that usually write the 1-star reviews, and they blow off the handle and they list all your wrongdoings, and they just look like idiots. And customers have come to expect those types of reviews. When customers go to an Amazon book page and they look at the reviews, they select to see just some of them, select to see just the 1-star reviews. And if all the reviews were written by raging, angry people, then they're satisfied that this book is good. It helps them understand that, it's not for idiots, for raging idiots, and that it's a legitimate book. But if you only have 5-star reviews, then something is fishy, right? You screened the idiots out. It's not a natural review landscape.
It's almost like I've met women who say they don't like a guy whose hair is too perfect. If it's too perfect and it looks too slick, then something's being hidden, and they're afraid they're going to get hurt. They're looking for a guy that has just a couple of things out of place, and it's a real person. Right.
And that makes those 1-star reviews, those angry people, makes your product, make your book look like a real book. Because in reality, in real life, there's no way you'll never get a 1-star review. So
right, because even Harry Potter has like 13% 1-star reviews, right?
Right. And another technique that we use, and I like it even more than the survey, is that we use the 1-star reviews to generate positive reviews. And we do that by using a specific language in the email that says, listen, some people really hate my product for this or that reason, and they go on and write scathing reviews. And this really, if this remains, right, if only those people write reviews, then I won't be able to spread the word and help other people like I've helped you. So if you found my product good, or my service, if you thought my service was good for you, then if you don't mind, go to our review page on Amazon or the blog post testimonial page and just write a review. And we've tested it with Glenn's book, and we found that it is a very effective copy. People really respond to it.
One of the reasons I really like it is that it's not just motivating people to write the review, but they really feel like it's their opportunity to give back and further the mission. Because if someone who really loves your book, they're really inspired by the mission. And so the reviews that come out of it are much more passionate, detailed, and engaging than, if you were just begging for the review. So I really like that. And I can't take credit for it. You came up with that. So that's great.
So that's the thing. There's one more thing. Once you've asked for the review, don't stop. Like if you've asked for the review at email number 10, then ask again at number 25, at number 37, at number 58. That way you get a lot more chances to get that review. And we've studied this technique and found that at least on Amazon, we're getting, my authors are getting 20 times more reviews than the average book. So what happens when you implement this technique is that eventually you become, at least review-wise, the leader in your field. Or imagine going to a book that has 5,000 reviews and the next book in the list has 300 reviews. So it's plain, it's obvious which book is the leading book in the category. And that alone can dramatically influence your conversion rate and get you a lot more exposures on a lot of platforms. And that's it.
Let me just say that Yoav has helped me to become the #1 book in the food addiction and overeating and binge eating category. And it's only 6 months since we launched. No, I guess it's only about 6 months since we launched, right? Maybe
I think
7 months?
It's 7 months, and you're almost surpassing the #1 book in the category review-wise. Maybe a month more, maybe 2, maybe a couple of months more.
Okay, cool. No, but I was the #1 listed book though.
You're still the #1 listed book, and you're still the #1 book when it comes to search queries. That's a whole different ballgame. But review-wise, you're #2, and that book was launched maybe 4 years before your book.
Right. So we're going at a pace about 4 times faster than she did.
20 times faster. Yeah.
Really?
20 times faster.
Wow.
Good. So that's the first topic. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. The second one is shorter.
Can I just say one thing? That the currently #1 book is actually a really good book, and I recommend it. So I don't want to hurt her. But we're still going to overtake her.
Yeah, we're going to leave her in the dust.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
Maybe I'll help her along when she does it. It's a really good book. I'm much more mission driven than money driven in this business. So anyway, go ahead.
Good. So the second theme or the second topic is the reverse interview technique. And that's a thing you taught me maybe 7 years ago, which basically means if you want someone to interview you or promote you to their audience, the best way to go about them is to interview them, which is kind of counterintuitive, but works really well. So I'll give an example. One of my authors wrote a book about an erupting mountain and a volcano, basically, right? And I told him that if he wants to get press coverage, he should go interview news journalists that covered volcanoes in the past. So he did that like half-assed. He maybe approached 2 or 3 journalists and briefly interviewed one of them, and that was that. He didn't get any coverage at that time. But last week, he got a call from that one journalist he briefly interviewed, and the journalist asked him if he would come to do a TV spot about the I think it's the 10-year anniversary for the eruption of Mount Helen. So he got invited onto TV by reverse interviewing that journalist.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it's an option that most people don't think of, because it's a lot easier to get someone to agree to be interviewed than it is to get them to agree to interview you. And it's a much softer way to start the relationship. And you actually learn something, and you also build credibility by interviewing these people. So it's not like there's nothing in it for you to do the interview.
Right, and if you do it persistently, you can build quite a few relationships that way. So that's a very cool technique you can add to your business arsenal. And the last thing is I wanted to talk to you about today, Glenn, is adding email marketing to retail businesses.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a different topic, but I'm into it.
It's just because my iPad broke last week, and I had to go fix it, and I spent quite a bit of time there sitting waiting for it to be fixed, and I saw the amount of people coming into the shop. It was like 50 people in 1 hour with iPhones, buying stuff, getting stuff fixed, whatever. And none of those people's emails was collected. Oh, and if you're hearing this, if you're listening to this, you're probably an internet marketer, and you know how difficult it is to get a customer, to acquire a customer. And those retail businesses, especially successful ones, they have a flood of customers coming in every day, all day. So this guy could probably add 300, 400 people a day to his email list. And those are customers. And then use all the amazing benefits of having an email list, like selling electronics. A new camera comes in, he can shoot out an email. He can implement a review loop, right? Ask customers to rate him on Yelp. And I spent so much time that I even thought about a way to create content for that email list, which is just to follow up the popular blogs like Gizmodo or the other tech blogs. And whenever an interesting or fun new technology is covered, just either quote that piece to your newsletter or rewrite it quickly and send it out to your newsletter. So you're both entertaining and informative. And this gives you the relationship with your customer base to actually sell stuff when you want to. So
I love it. I love it. I don't know why they don't do that.
It's a squandered opportunity, and if you're in a retail business and you're not collecting email addresses for customers, shame on you.
Well,
that's it.
That's true. Well, yeah. I mean, it is. I just don't want to shame people because I'm
a
psychologist.
Go collect those email addresses right now and come up with a content strategy. It's not difficult. If you have a Mexican restaurant, share recipes, talk about major holidays, the best Mexican movies, whatever, right? Come up with a content strategy to create the follow-up sequence. And then when you have something to sell, or you have a weekday at the restaurant and you want to get more people coming in, just send out an email and let them know there's a free margarita with every meal today. It's not that difficult.
I love it. Yeah, it's really not that difficult. It's great. And you can call me if you feel too ashamed.
Right. Glenn,
go to the customer.
Glenn will take care of you. And about that dog we talked about earlier?
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't say.
There was no dog, Glenn.
Okay.
Good.
Well, this has been a really good interview. I enjoyed it very much. I learned a couple of things. Is there anything you want to say before we wind down?
No. Build an email list. Sell.
Okay. And if you don't, then shame on you.
Right. Good. And we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Thanks for your time and attention. For more information about the products and services we offer to help dramatically grow your business, please visit thecustomermachine.com. On behalf of Glenn and Yoav, thanks for listening.